Good Saturday morning, August the 30th, 2025 at 8:10 a.m. We are at Fort Clark Springs on a Saturday morning. Temperature is 79 degrees right now, and it's going to be a hot day here in this part of Texas. But we're headed to one of the talking roads, where we can have our little chats. And what are we going to chat about? Well, we're going to chat about making life an adventure and keeping ourselves busy as we get older. Why? Because it's very damn important. Otherwise, you'll just vegetate and die. You're going to die anyway, but you might as well enjoy it until that moment. So, yeah. But anyway, right now, as you know, some of you, I've got a lot of, quote, balls in the air, so to speak, in that I have bought a couple of pieces of property here at Fort Clark Springs that are covered, so you can park an RV under them. And yeah, they got a full hookup. But that's one thing. And then the other thing is I've got my property for sale in Carrizozo, New Mexico, 3 acres near Carrizozo at Valley del Sol. And it's listed with a realtor, Sierra, out of Sierra. It's Sierra Blanca Real Estate, I believe, and the guy's name is Randy. And but anyway, yeah, if you go to Zillow or Realtor.com, you'll see it for Carrizozo. And then, of course, here at Fort Clark Springs, I've got my 2-bedroom mobile home for sale. It just went up today on Realtor.com and Zillow. And yeah, but yeah, check them out. And if it's something you might be interested in, check with the realtor. She'll contact me and we'll work something out, you know. And yeah, I'm just about, yeah, I'll work with any way I can, within reason on either one of them. Yeah. So yeah, keep that in mind. And that's part of the point of this video is just stay busy. Why do I do these things that I do? Well, as you probably know, fickle man does fickle things, and I don't know if that's fickle or not, but it's just the way I am, and I've been this way probably for 80 years, but yeah. So we're going to go take a little drive and we'll expand on some of this stuff. But as far as making money or losing money on these transactions, on land, I usually make a little bit, but on cars and stuff, RVs, I don't. No. No, money comes in, money goes out. But overall, I'm a few dollars ahead. I'm not complaining. And yeah, I'm living. I can live off my Social Security comfortably, you know. And as long as I got my health, I'm not worried about any healthcare supplements. I don't take any drugs, so I don't need any prescription drug stuff, and that's a miracle. But yeah, we're here on, this is Highway 90 going left and right or east and west. And yeah, we'll go out here a little way and we'll turn on a road that doesn't have so much traffic. But yeah, staying busy is important, stand guard at the door of your mind, all that stuff I talk about. Gasoline here is $2.55 a gallon for regular unleaded and $2.99 a gallon for diesel. Old Buzzard almost made a mistake. They were so hungry they didn't see me coming. But yeah, it's beautiful here in this area now because we've had some rain, and yeah, everything's green and geez, yeah. But back to the point of the video, which is keeping busy and stuff. Yeah, you can make your life an adventure. You can also go bankrupt, if you choose to. I mean, I'm kind of cash poor now, because I'm strung out with real estate that isn't selling, and it may not. Both the places I have are not places that are going to be snapped up overnight. But you never know. I mean, it just takes one like me. I mean, I bought them, so maybe there's another me in the world, you think, or somebody that thinks like me, sees something that looks like an investment and jumps on it, So yeah, this Highway 90, we'll cruise out here. I think I can remember where the road is. I turn on to kind of get out of the traffic here. But yeah, it's just pleasant to take these little drives in the mornings. Yeah, it kind of breaks up the day, and that's another thing you got to do is, and it happens to me. Remember, I'm human too. I'm a human being, and yeah. So, is this the road here? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we'll turn left here. But yeah, I get bored. I'm a human being, and so I have to kind of stand up and kick my own butt and say, okay, do something. What would you tell? I asked myself, what would I tell somebody else in a similar situation? I'd say, well, get up and do something. I mean, shit, even if it's just take a walk out the door, yeah, or get in your car and take a drive. These yellow things there, you see them in the road, they block the vision of the cars that are coming down that side. Really brilliant by TxDOT. I don't even know why they're there, but they are, and that's the way that is. And so yeah, we're going to cruise a little bit. Now this over here on the right, I'm sure this has something to do with Border Patrol or something, because you see all those vehicles there, right here, all those pickups. I don't know what they are, but I don't know. It says Troy, Troy, and water truck. Maybe, well, I'm not going to say oil field. There's not a lot of oil field stuff, but that's housing right there. And then, I don't know. Oh, I know what it is, a pipeline. They're building some pipelines out here. Okay, well, I'm glad, because that'll make my spot easier to rent at Fort Clark if I decide to rent it, because these pipelines, they go on forever, I mean, yeah, they're jobs. So let me slow down just a touch here. Put it on cruise. Yeah, we're cruising along at 39 miles an hour, and usually there is absolutely no traffic on this road, and so we can just cruise and talk if I have anything to say, or if I think of anything to say. Can I think of anything to say? Yeah. So yeah, get off that recliner or couch or whatever you're on, and yeah, if you get bored, just do something. Yeah, watching TV, you just gradually vegetate. When I say watching TV, network TV sucks. But again, these are just my opinions. You do you any way you want to. If you want to stand on your head 24 hours a day, that's your business. But yeah, this is the brush country of Southwest Texas, mesquite, and everything's got thorns, and they raise a lot of goats down here, mohair types, and yeah. But the reason is they can live off that brush out there, believe it or not. Well, not totally. They have to be supplemented with some kind of food or feed. But you can see how green both sides of the road are. Even the brush is green, And is that good? I guess. I mean, the animals around here love it. The deer, there's all kind of deer and coyotes and stuff. So yeah, what's my plan right now? I got a lot of options, I'll say that. But really my plan, if I sell my 2-bedroom mobile home at Fort Clark Springs, then I'll just live in my casita on those 2 lots that I bought that are covered. All right. And then that way, when I get ready to go somewhere, I can hook up to the casita and go if I choose to go. I mean, whether my get up and go is going or not, I don't know. But I plan, if I sell the mobile home, then I'm going to buy me a little storage building. I'll put me a small 110 washer and dryer in there, 120 volt or whatever they are. I'm not going to have any electrical work done, because I only wash clothes once a month. But if I get with a smaller unit, I may wash twice a month. But enough said, but clothes is not a big problem. And then I'll get me a little refrigerator. And the real reason I want to get a little storage building is if I go somewhere, I'm going to have a golf cart, and I'll put it in there and lock it up. That way I don't have to worry about anything while I'm gone. Like if I go now, I've got that 2-bedroom home, I'm thinking about, oh God, water leaks, bugs, and all that crap, or your mind just wanders way over yonder, so to speak. And yeah, so that would be the ideal situation right there. However, I've got a backup plan. If the mobile home doesn't sell, say in 90 days or 120 days, then I'm going to rent, well, in the interim, I'm going to rent the covered spot. There's one covered spot that has a full hookup with an electric meter already there. The other spot, the electric meter's been pulled, and the water meter has too, but so I'm not going to add those back. I'm just going to rent that one side that's doesn't have hookup, so to speak, I'm just going to rent that for storage. Somebody wants to store a boat or a car or a RV or whatever, I'll charge them $125 a month for covered storage. And then plus, I haven't really nailed down a number for the rent on the covered RV spot with a full hookup, 50 amp. That would be at the RV park at Fort Clark Springs. It's $750 a month, including electric. Well, assume electric is $100. Well, so it makes it $650. So I'll rent mine for say $700 plus electricity. So you'd have to pay electricity. And then whatever my bill is, that's what you'd pay. I just hand you a copy of the bill, and you add it to the $700 a month rent. And so that way, because see, for me to have those spots available costs me it's $150 a month to the POA, Property Owners Association, $40 to have electric available, and then $30 a month for garbage pickup. So you're looking at $250, well, including taxes, a little more maybe, just to have that available. So if I'm grossing, say, $825 a month, I'll only be netting, say, $550 a month, or in that range, which is good. That's a good return on the investment I've got. So yeah, and I may do that. So that's another option. And then and the third option is, of course, just sell it. Just go ahead and put it on the market, but sell it financing. I could do owner financing. So whatever, say for example, you were paying $750 a month at the RV park for an RV space, and you're going to be here for the long term or seasonal, doesn't matter, and you want you a spot. Well, you could have my place and pay me $750 a month for 8 years or whatever it comes out to be. I had to do the math on it. I'll probably go 8% interest, and the reason is there's risk in that. Okay, and I would do a contract for deed, because if you go ahead and give the individual the deed on a deal like that, and then they stop paying, it's a pain in the butt to go to the county clerk's office and court and all that crap to get the deed back. It's a pain. So the best thing to do is just do a contract for deed. They pay it off, you give them the deed. Okay, so that's probably what I'd do. So that's kind of a third option. And as far as the Carrizozo property, if it doesn't sell, I'll probably use it. And on we go. So if nothing sells, then really not much has changed, other than I'll have some what they call passive income, which is not bad. I'm not going to complain about that. But yeah, did you notice hasn't been any traffic on this road? This is a good talking road here, because you can this road goes all the way over to a highway that if you turn left, you go to Eagle Pass, and if you turn right, you go to Del Rio. So, you can kind of go a back way to either one of those towns if you choose to. Do I choose to? No. No, I don't. It's just a nice drive. But also way down here on the left, kind of out in the sticks, boonies, there's the property that's been busted up, and there's parcels for sale. I went and looked at a couple of them, but there's no utilities, no nothing. I mean, you're off grid. You'd have to do solar and haul water or drill a water well, which would be expensive down here. And what else is going on, Rusty? Well, yeah, overall what I've talked about basically is my plans, which is just trying to make my life an adventure or something that keeps me busy. Because the old saying, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. That is so true, because if you don't have anything to do or to think about that's positive or creative, then you get depressed. It's kind of like you wonder why you don't have any energy. You want to sleep a lot. Well, that's depression. That's all that is. And to avoid that, as you get older, it takes a little effort. It doesn't come for free. You gotta work at it, and also exercise. That takes some time, and it's good for you. Get up in the morning, take you a nice walk if you can, if you're in a safe area. And keep your health the best way you can, because it's yours, And nobody's going to take care of you but you. The illusion is that somebody really cares. Well, they may really care, but they can't do anything for you. They can talk to you, and pat you on the back, but that's it. I mean, your kids, you get angry with your kids for not checking in or whatever. They're living their own life. They ain't got time for you. They remember what you just think about what you did, or are doing now. But anyway, guys, from out here in the middle of nowhere, there's a railroad track up here. That's usually where I turn, or in that area. Or there's also a big ranch that has a real fancy entrance. That was one of my turnaround spots. And but on and on life goes, man. And so focus on an adventure. Even if you don't do it, plan on it. Just plan it. There's nothing wrong with it. Plan, and then if you don't do it, so what? It was fun. I mean, it was fun dreaming. Without dreams, people perish. Well, that's true, but with dreams, they perish too. So, there's one way in, one way out, So, enough said about that, guys. From the Talking Road near Fort Clark Springs, Texas on a Saturday morning, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want, anytime. But if you think about it, and you're going to buy something from Amazon, use the Amazon link in the description of all of my videos. Why? It doesn't cost you a penny. Just click on the link, go to Amazon, and get what you want. No problem. Drink plenty of water, stretch, walk, stand guard at the door of your mind, and enjoy your life. Make it an adventure. It's fun. It's fun. It is, in my opinion. Anyway, adios, amigos. Enjoy your day. Bye.